Hello and welcome. I believe this is our last day on a Nurses Journey Summit. I hope you've enjoyed all the speakers up to this point, and I have left a wonderful guest for last because a lot of you are really going to connect with Crista. She is a student nurse in her second year of nursing. Good morning or hello, Crista.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah. So, for those of you tuned in today, this is a dynamic conversation with a woman, Krista, who's been in the healthcare for 17 years and transitioned into being a nursing student. So, before we get to that, I just want to remind you all why I created this new journey for. A Nurses Journey Summit. I really wanted the participants, people watching, and even speakers to gain confidence in their nursing career. And secondly, to know that there is some decisions on your pathway in your nursing. There's some choices you can make now. And thirdly, and most importantly, identifying your uniqueness in your nursing career and in your own personal life. So let's hop right in here with Crista Turcotte. What I'm going to do is read out her topic for today and a little bit of background on Krista. So, Krista's topic, Becoming the Nurse I Meant to Be, a student's journey with heart and hope. And everybody listen to this. So Krista is currently in the second year of nursing school. That's in Canada, up in the northern part of the island, I believe, on the west coast where I am. She's in the second year of nursing school with 17 years of experience in healthcare. Krista is a passionate healthcare professional with nearly 2 decades of experience in various care settings, including general medicine, hospice, GI, oncology, orthopedics, renal care, residential care, and most recently, intensive care and high acuity units. Her extensive background as a healthcare assistant has provided a strong foundation for her nursing journey, where she currently excels as a nursing student navigating one of the most rigorous academic programs. As a mature student in nursing school, she recognizes the unique challenges that come with balancing education, personal loss, and responsibilities. Krista approaches her studies and career with a deep sense of gratitude, having faced adversity and persevered through some of life's most difficult moments. Her experiences have taught her resilience, the importance of setting boundaries, and the power of asking for help when needed. She strives to be the kind of nurse who leaves a lasting positive impact, fostering a culture where both patients and nurses are supported, valued, and empowered. Wow, Krista, you've been on many different wards in your time, more than I sure have. So you have got, although you're a student, you've got a bucket full of knowledge to share with us today. So, Krista, why don't you? I just pop in there, and I always get everybody to share a little bit about, why you wanted to become a nurse, your pathway to it, and let's just jump into it there.
All right. I think I mean, I know like most people that are in healthcare, taking care of people is kind of something that just comes natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really fortunate. I have a really close relationship with my family. My mom and my grandparents, specifically, the relationship between them has always been something that's been really special to me. And my grandparents had been sick a few times growing up, and other family members had been sick and stuff. So I think somewhere in my early teens, it kind of clicked for me that I wanted to be able to be somebody that could show up for them in the same way that the people did that I had witnessed in the hospital and that kind of thing. So, um, being able to care for people in their like most vulnerable moments it's a privilege to be able to do that. So
Yeah.
it felt right. I had initially wanted to do the nursing program right away, like right out of high school, but
Mhm.
I was a little hesitant there. I wasn't sure if jumping into 4 years right out of high school was right for me at the time. So I did do my healthcare assistant program.
Mhm.
Um, I thought that would be just, me getting my toes wet a little bit, jumping into
Yeah,
healthcare.
good start.
Um, I definitely thought it would be, 6 months, maybe a couple years as a care aide rather than 17 before I went back to school. But life happens. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so having the opportunity of being a healthcare aide or assistant is so valuable to the team as well. And I think moving from, because I've been a director and watched how the healthcare team in particular interact with the patient, with the resident, um, with the client in so many ways that nurses aren't able to because of their tight schedule. And so you develop that closeness with your patient for sure. And I
yeah.
guess that has brought you into your nursing program with some wisdom already.
Yeah, I'm pretty grateful for that. I'm comfortable at a bedside. I'm comfortable with patients. I'm comfortable with sick people, people that are uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
that experience it's invaluable to me. I don't know that I would be able to go into this program as a mature student without that,
Uh-huh.
honestly.
So let's talk about being a mature student. What percentage of the group is in that mature range versus straight out of school?
um, Not a lot.
Not a lot?
There is I'm 37. There
Yeah.
is maybe I think three or four other people that are in their late 30s. Um, Everybody else is in their early 20s. There's definitely people that are 18 just out of high school in the program, and um, it's there's a lot of obstacles that I didn't anticipate. A lot of things that I experience that they don't, but vice versa, like there's things that they have going on in their life that I don't as well.
Mhm.
Um, it's looking at it like from an outside perspective, it's
Yeah.
really, really different.
Yeah. When I was in nursing school, I had a 3-year-old and a under 1 year old. So,
Oh wow.
exactly different obstacles, different responsibilities. And yeah, so let's just talk a little bit about that. When you use the term obstacles, what sorts of things get in the way for you with the nursing program and your personal life?
Um, it's a hard one. Life itself can be chaotic for everybody. I mean, life right
Sure.
now isn't easy. Um, but I lost my best friend a few days before I started the nursing program.
Oh,
So kind of navigating through grief in that way was really difficult. And then unfortunately, I lost my dad really suddenly a few months after that. And I mean, there's no handbook on grief, right? And adding the academic pressure on top of that has been a lot. Being able to really check in with myself and like know my boundaries has been really, really important for me, just to be able
mhm.
to put some boundaries in place. And unfortunately for me, that looks like taking a step back from my social life and social obligations that I normally would have been really present for.
Yeah.
um, I've had to kind of put that stuff on the back burner and just realize like I worked really hard to be here, and there's a lot of people that wanted to be where I am and they don't have the opportunity right now. I mean, just looking at it from a grateful perspective, like I mean, where I am on Vancouver Island, there's only 3 universities here that take nursing
Mhm.
students, and I think cumulatively through all three of the universities, there's only about 300 seats a year. And there's over 10,000 applicants. So to be able to be one of those 300 students is something I really had to remind myself of when I'm met with those moments when I'm, just kind of like, I don't know if I can do that, just to remind
Wow, that,
myself that
I
you
mean,
can.
I've experienced death in my life, and it can just put you at a standstill. And
Yeah.
even though you want to push forward, your brain just isn't ready to. And so, so I'm sure there's a lot of nurses watching today that, well, I can remember in my day, the younger people were like, I've got this going on in my life and I've got this and all that kind of stuff. And now you just shared a huge thing that was going on in your life. Um, and so you pushed forward by, you have this vision and you're grateful. And was there anything else to add to that? Like, how do you push, like when you've got that going on and you see other students out there, young or mature, that also are commenting on, oh, there's just so much overwhelm. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. There's so
Yeah.
much overwhelm. How do we calm that and get back onto our road path, our pathway?
I mean, it's a struggle for sure.
Mm,
I think it's one that I will always be adding to my toolkit for that, taking things that work for me and getting rid of things that don't. I, you know, I going through that was really difficult. I did take a bit of time off of
yeah.
school just because for me, I wouldn't have been able to do the best I wanted to academically. So, just knowing what was good for me in that moment, just really, really taking care of your mental health and your physical health too, because I mean, you could be great mentally, but it hurts to get out of bed in the morning because you're, haven't, if you're just not feeling well or whatever, like not
Yeah.
taking care of yourself, it's going to affect the other. Like one ultimately rolls into the other. So
Yeah.
really making time for yourself to, go outside, go for a walk, do something that makes you feel good. That's really helped me.
Yeah. So what I hear you zoning into is self-care. It's
Yeah.
important to set boundaries, and it's okay to set those boundaries. And the expectations that other people may have on you, friends, even family,
Yeah.
even students, even nurses, you for temporarily, you might have to say, look, you know, I'm putting you here and there until
Yeah.
I get through this. So that
Yeah.
that's great information. And the nurses that are watching, those are gold nuggets to write down. I prepared a few other questions, and I just want to make sure we get them. So, what do you wish experienced nurses knew about what it's like to be a student nurse?
Um, I took a lot of thought about
Yeah,
that actually.
yeah,
I don't know that there's anything like specific that I would be like, it's important you know this. Because I mean they were students too, right? Like we've all learned at some point, and I think just remembering that, like you were learning at one point too, is really invaluable. But it just is the job demands have changed for nurses. Like I mean, I see it, right? I see that policies are changing, technology is advancing.
yeah.
There's so much stuff that has changed in an RN's work. That stuff has also changed for students. So our program demands have changed so that when we come out of the program, we are where they are, like not experience wise, but what we need to know. Like we also have to know all that. So that's added there as well, not just in the workplace.
You know what?
Um,
I'm just going to interrupt you there because it
yeah,
made me think about, that's a great perspective, is, us nurses that have been students before may reflect back on our student experience and education. And we need to be open to, even though the nurse's role is evolving and technology is evolving, the nursing program may not be the same as it
yeah,
was when I was in student mode. So,
yeah,
very important statement there. So, thank you for that. And so, our nurses out there in the clinical world need to be reminded that. Yes, we can reflect on how hard and how the overwhelm and all that, but the program is different now as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
good for you for bringing that to our attention. Yeah. Um, And so what if you get matched with a preceptor that you and them just don't seem to jive? I'm sure you hear some students say, "Oh my God, my preceptor."
Yeah, yeah.
What do we do in those situations? Do we go to the manager? Do we go to our uh, nurse educator and say, "I need a different preceptor"? Like, what do we do?
I mean, I think it depends on how comfortable you are with yourself, like how comfortable you feel in expressing yourself.
Mhm.
I know for me years ago, I likely wouldn't have been comfortable expressing myself. And tactfully is really important because I mean, if you aren't tactful in your delivery, that can come off pretty awfully, and that
Yeah.
will make your interaction even worse. So, um, I know that. I mean, I even meet even now as an HCA, like other HCAs will come on, or if I'm helping a nurse, there's always going to be a clash of some sort. Sometimes you're not going to get on with everybody. That's
Yeah.
just life. Um, I I just have to gently remind myself that I'm not here for them. I'm here for the patient. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get skills. And um, I will often ask, like, is there something that you need from me? Like, what can I be doing here? If if I could tell that maybe they didn't really like the way something was done, or you can tell that something's not going over
Mhm.
well, like, is there something that you would have done differently here? How would
So,
you have approached that?
yeah. So, does the nursing program, I know you're in year two, prepare you for conversations that are difficult?
To an extent,
Yeah.
because I mean, there also is the perceptor piece, but there's also the education piece. So if we're having a difficulty in that way in the workspace or in our clinical,
Yeah.
obviously our first go-to is going to be our educator to go to our professor and talk to them about it.
Yeah. Mhm.
They will encourage you to have those conversations with preceptors. You know, if it's too difficult and you don't feel comfortable, obviously go to them. So that support piece is there.
The support pieces there, wonderful. And so, mentorship, is there mentorship for the nurses? Is there somebody that they can, that tag on person, that support person, the mentorship? Is there lots of it, or are we lacking in that for the student?
In school or in the
Well, let's say
workplace.
both. Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
In school, I've been really fortunate. I've had some really great instructors. They've continuously fostered a space of open and honest conversations, a place of no judgment, which has been really helpful. I'm really grateful
Beautiful.
for that.
Hmm.
In the workplace, there is like the clinical nurse educators are always there. The clinical nurse leaders are there if there's something that you need to discuss. I think it's a matter of you as an individual being comfortable presenting things that you aren't comfortable with or things you're struggling with in that way. Um, Outside of the workplace, we do have like people you can talk to if there's things you're struggling with in that way, like on the team, like they'll open themselves up to be able to talk. So I think that's great. I
Hmm.
mean, I think more is always better, but
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah,
what you're saying is, and quite often the younger crowd, the ones straight out of school, may not have the courage, the life experience, the conversational, how to ask. So that's that group that really needs, to me, the support on, yeah, how to deal. Because when I'm in a director's role, the nurses that graduate and they're out there, there's I see on so many Facebook groups, on LinkedIn, everywhere, they're so overwhelmed,
yeah.
so I know you're not there yet, but that when you're finally graduate and you're on your own, it's so overwhelming. That first year you want to quit. What do you hope is there for you? I mean, this is down the road for,
Mhm.
that we as, seasoned nurses can be there for you.
I hope that, I mean, I hope in a few years that the culture of nursing will shift a little bit. It's difficult, right? Like nursing, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. There's no other way to put it. The job demands are always increasing. I think if I mean, I would like to see if you notice somebody struggling, like if you, everybody struggles at some point. Like if you
Yeah.
notice somebody struggling, maybe reach out when you feel it's comfortable or appropriate. Just,
Yeah.
hey, can I help you with anything? Really enforcing that, like, yes, this is your patient assignment, but also like we're a team here. So I think that really really bringing the team portion and the support piece to the front
Yeah.
is something that I would really like to see. Like there's so much knowledge available, and there's so much greatness with support, like if we're comfortable asking for support. So I think if you know that somebody doesn't really seem comfortable and they might not ask for support, maybe offer it. And those times, I think that would go a really long way.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking if you're a new grad and you land a position, that the unit manager will team you up with somebody,
Yeah,
and that person will be your mentor for as long as you need that person.
yeah, that would
Because
be,
because what you want to create is a successful outcome, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So in wrapping up, let's see. So, what do you hope your contribution to the profession will be?
I hope to, I mean, I obviously hope to make like a positive, meaningful impact on the
Yeah,
patients that I interact with. I would hope to be able to do that through like ensuring that patients are getting care that aligns with them. Like, I think that holistic piece is really important to me, that care isn't just the patient and just why they're in hospital. Like, it's a big picture. So that piece is really important to me, that patients are being advocated for appropriately and advocated in a way that they're able to maintain their autonomy and get the care that is really important to them in a way that works for them.
for sure. And I think you've just been specific on identifying what your unique strength is in nursing, because you've been in the field for 17 years, giving that close contact. So, what would you identify as your unique strength? So, I'm just going to share with you my unique strength was connecting with the patient. So, mine was an emotional strength, the
Mhm.
connection, where somebody else's might be, they know all the systems in the body, so inside and out, or somebody might know pharmaceuticals inside and out. And at first in nursing, I thought my strength was just so weak. I looked at other people's, but when I owned the fact that it's a natural, ingrained a strength that I have, this building trust and connection so quickly without judgment. And I'm not saying other people don't do that, but it was just a natural for me that that became my strength, and I need to own it. So, what do you see? Have you identified your strength?
I mean, I think I've always been able to connect with patients really easily.
Mhm.
Talking to people has always been something that's been very easy for me to do.
Yeah,
Um, I have quite a bit of life experience, not just in healthcare, but outside of. I Unfortunately, I grew up quite quickly,
yeah,
so I've seen a lot of things that other people might not have. So my
sure.
the as much as we don't want to say we do, everybody has their biases, right? They bring them in even if they don't want to, and it's difficult to be able to move away from that. And I think that's something that I'm able to do, is just to come into a situation with no judgment and see a person for who they actually are in that moment. Like, you're in a vulnerable
Yeah,
state, and being able to look past a diagnosis and see that somebody is actually, you're struggling here, that's why you're in hospital, and being able to connect with them in that way is something that I hope to be able to add to. But also, I know that that's a big strength of mine, which I'm super grateful for.
I can high five you. So many of us tend to hide our life experiences. But there's a lot of lessons learned that come through life experience, and like you, coming from hardships, or the whole vast of growing up, witnessing things. Yes, that don't squash those down within yourself. Bring them into your human experience with others. Beautiful. Crista, it's time to close off. I'm sure we could go on and on. You're such a lovely person to chat with. You're easy and approachable. And I know you're going to do so well in your career. You're already doing well. You're already, hitting the mark in so many areas. For the nurses watching today, is there anything you just want to close off with?
Don't give up. As easy as
Yes.
it is to just, think that something's too hard, you're never going to get it. I have had to take a step back sometimes and come back to things. Like, if you're not getting it, you might not get it today, and that's okay. That's one of the best parts about healthcare, is that nobody's the same. No one's practice is going to look the same. The way you learn isn't going to look the same. And I think just embrace who you are in your learning and in your practice, and ask for help. Like, it's there. So just kind of being able to push that ego piece aside and acknowledging that you need help, it's okay to do that.
Oh my goodness. You've offered so many valuable thoughts for so many, not even student nurses or new nurses, but even seasoned nurses can take away from you today. Thank you so much, Crista. And I know that through technology, through social media, we'll stay connected. I love you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and there you have it. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in the Facebook group, where we can continue on with conversations, or email speakers. You can connect with Crista possibly in our Facebook group. And if you want a private one-on-one with her, I'm sure that's where you can, find out how to DM her. Thank you again. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.